The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
The David Pakman Show is mostly funded by individual memberships, like the one you can get at davidpakman.com/membership. You'll get the regular show commercial-free, video of the entire one-hour TV show, as well as the bonus show in both audio and video format, as well as an archive of all shows and bonus shows, Lewis, that dates back to August of 2005. It's pretty remarkable. That's why you have, what, 3.5 million memberships at this point?
Yeah, roughly.
Lewis's memberships total basically the GDP of some smaller countries.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how I'm doing it, but
it's incredible.
I mean, the debt is really piling on.
Well, it's just like with Obama, right? Oh, right. Wait, no, we dispelled that earlier in the show. davidpakman.com/membership. Sign up today. We talked earlier in the week about this bogus story of Arizona Secretary of State Ken Bennett starting to say that he really needs to see whether Barack Obama is eligible to be on the ballot for president in Arizona, basically buying into the entire birther nonsense, even though he denied actually being a birther. I'll follow up on that in a second, but first thing, we covered the story as a goof, as in like, look at how outrageous this entire thing is and the fact that we have elected officials presumably taking this seriously. Fox News makes a big deal out of distinguishing between hard news and opinion journalism. In fact, at the end of Shepard Smith's 7 to 8 o'clock news hour now, he says that does it, something along the lines of that's it for hard news. Now starts opinion and analysis, almost as a pushback to criticisms that it's not totally clear when is it hard news and when isn't it. Well, if Shepard Smith is on 7 to 8 p.m., we know the 6 p.m. Eastern show is Special Report for Brett Baer. Hard news, Lewis, okay? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, hard-hitting, factual news.
Right. Here is how they are covering the birther nonsense. Serious coverage on, as serious as it can be on Fox News, during the hard news segments on Fox News. Take a look at this.
Pickings from the political grapevine. Arizona's Secretary of State Ken Bennett says he's been asking for 2 months for Hawaiian officials to prove President Obama was born there.
Wow.
Hawaiian officials won't budge until Bennett satisfies a number of requirements, and both sides disagree about whether he's actually done it. Bennett says he might remove President Obama from the ballot in Arizona
there you go.
if the proof doesn't arrive from Hawaii soon, a move Democratic critics say is politically calculated and aimed at capturing support from a fringe group of Republicans as Bennett weighs a run for governor.
Okay, and it goes on. So that's brilliant, Lewis. Fox News, they do a segment where they say, here's some political news. The political news is you've got birthers in Arizona, and they're questioning whether President Obama is eligible. That's hard news on Fox News.
Well, you know, in their defense, at least they admitted that this is political positioning by this politician.
They didn't. They said that critics say that. They didn't actually say it themselves.
Well, I mean,
listen, Lewis, they're covering the story.
If they didn't want that out, they wouldn't have even claimed that it was critics at all. They wouldn't have said it at all.
Disagree with you. This is part of the carefully crafted balance. They say, well, we'll cover the story, it's a ridiculous story, but within the story, we'll put in a counterpoint to make it seem like it's a fair and balanced story. It's fine if the story contains views from both sides. The problem is you're covering the story. It's like, Lewis, if I say, well, today's news is Lewis a mass murderer? I say he may be. Lewis disagrees. Hey, look, I've given my view and I've given Lewis's view, but why am I doing a story on whether Lewis is a mass murderer? It's a nonsense story. You know what I'm saying? Just the fact that there's a dissenting view in there, that's not the problem. The problem, that still doesn't solve the problem, rather. They're covering this as real news.
They are covering this as real news, but this also could fall under the umbrella of entertainment, right?
Yeah,
it is an entertaining.
It's not.
It is an entertaining story. It is technically political news.
They say it's okay. All right.
I just think this is a bad example because although I haven't been watching TV news the last couple of days, I'm sure they're covering this on CNN and a bunch of other stations. So I don't think it's specific to Fox.
It's an entertaining story. It's an entertaining story.
It's certainly entertaining, I'll say that. Okay, what did end up happening with that, by the way? So the other night, last night, Arizona Secretary of State Ken Bennett actually came out and said, I got that information from Hawaii. It proves Obama's an American, was born in the United States, and it satisfies Arizona's requirements for being on the ballot. So I guess that's it, Lewis. It's the end of the birther controversy, right?
For Ken Bennett.
Wait, probably not. And Obama is going to be on the ballot in Arizona.
I mean, I'm shocked he didn't claim it was a forgery.
It is shocking. It's definitely shocking. In an interview with AM Talk Radio, KTAR is the radio station, Ken Bennett said, "If I embarrass the state, I apologize." Maybe he's actually somewhat self-actualized and he's figuring out how absurd this entire thing has been.
Is a nice apology. He did embarrass the state, but Arizona's seen a lot of embarrassment lately over the past few years.
I'll say.
Yeah.
Jan Brewer at the heart of it.
Wow.